Something big is brewing in Beverly Hills. The kind of whispers that send shockwaves through brunch tables, red carpets, and reunion couches alike. From fresh heartbreaks to career reinventions, from emotional farewells to glamorous new beginnings, every housewife has stepped into a chapter that's more raw, more revealing, and more unpredictable than ever. This season, we're talking about transformations that redefine what it means to be a Beverly Hills woman, love lost and found, empires rebuilt, and friendships tested in ways fans never saw coming. We'll walk you through every single update, every surprise, every celebration, every perfectly timed plot twist from the entire cast of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So grab your favorite drink, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this ride. Kyle Richards' life over the past year feels like a movie written in real time, one filled with heartbreak, resilience, and a few full-circle family moments that even longtime Bravo fans didn't see coming. As cameras wrap filming on season 15 of Tim T, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills see, Kyle steps into an emotional chapter that's as raw as it is redemptive. She's learning to live separately from her husband of nearly 3 decades, Mauricio Umansky, while still showing up for the people she loves most. Their daughters, their family milestones, and perhaps most importantly, herself. The spring of 2025 begins on a heavy note when Kyle loses her beloved dog, River. Her Instagram tribute reads like a letter to an old friend. Yesterday we said goodbye to River, the most loyal dog I have ever known. It's a quiet, intimate grief that reminds her followers that even amid red carpets and Bravo reunions, Kyle's world still turns around the ordinary tenderness of home. Just weeks later, she's cheering on singer and close friend Morgan Wade, offering unwavering public support as Morgan shares updates about her post-mastectomy health journey. Their friendship, often dissected by fans and tabloids alike, reveals a deep loyalty that Kyle seems to find healing in, a different kind of love and connection outside of marriage. By summer, a sense of celebration begins to take over. Her eldest daughter, Alexia Umansky, is preparing to marry Jake Zingerman, and Kyle dives fully into mother of the bride mode. She helps plan the details of the Midnight Garden wedding, talks about balancing family and filming, and even shares that her daughter's big day will be filled with Jewish traditions and a dance floor that keeps everyone smiling through tears. When the wedding finally arrives in early September, Kyle and Mauricio reunite, walking their daughter down the aisle together. The moment is poignant. There's warmth, laughter, and the visible ache of nostalgia for the family unit they once were. Kyle posts, "My baby is married," beneath a series of photos showing her glowing in elegant silver, surrounded by all 4 of her daughters. The wedding becomes more than just a family event. It feels like a mirror for Kyle's evolution. She's separated but not bitter, independent yet still anchored in her family's love. Through interviews with Hubby People and Bravo, she opens up about co-parenting, calling friendship and respect the foundation of how she and Mauricio now navigate their lives. She even admits she hasn't completely moved on, telling viewers that after 30 years of marriage, untangling the emotional ties takes time. Meanwhile, her career continues to expand beyond the Beverly Hills spotlight. Kyle's appearance on Bravo's Housewife podcast gives fans a candid window into her inner life. She speaks about grief, growth, and the delicate balance between authenticity and performance. She laughs about the absurdity of fame, reflects on her decades-long friendships with Dorit and Teddy, and hints that she's ready to explore life beyond the show, saying softly, "There are things I want to do." 15 years is a long time. It's a statement that sounds less like an ending and more like the quiet exhale before a new beginning. Now, as fall turns to winter, Kyle stands in a rare kind of stillness. She's not rushing to redefine herself or chase headlines. Instead, she's embracing the dualities of her life. The woman who tears up while sending her daughter down the aisle, yet laughs alongside her ex-husband for the sake of family unity. The Bravo cameras may capture the glamour, but what fans see now is something deeper. A woman rediscovering who she is after decades of being a wife, a mother, and a housewife. And through every loss, celebration, and whispered rumor, Kyle Richards reminds everyone watching that reinvention doesn't always happen loudly. It sometimes unfolds quietly, in the spaces between heartbreak and hope. It's been quite a year for Erika Jayne, or Erika Girardi, as she is officially known. And as we lean into her newest transformation, we get a front-row seat to someone restaking her claim not just in reality television, but in her own reinvention. In late October, Erika takes to her verified Instagram and sends ripples through the entertainment world with the announcement of her new persona, DJ Pretty Mess. She's stepping out of the familiar glam of red carpet fame and into the pulsing lights of nightlife and music. On camera, she beams. I'm introducing DJ Pretty Mess, and the excitement builds as she confirms her first major appearance, booked for the 8th of November at Palm Springs Pride. It's clear she's not merely reprising her pop star past, but charting a bold new direction. Behind the scenes, Erika shares a quieter, deeper evolution. Earlier in October, she opens up about a wellness intensive, describing it not as a quick fix, but as going beyond surface-level self-care. The images show a serene retreat-style setting, morning light bathing a yoga mat, juices freshly poured, and Erika herself looking reflective, grounded. She says that after the demands of yet another season of reality fame, she made a decision. I'm making things better. There's a sense of resetting, of recalibrating, and the public is watching. On the career front, Midsummer brings a different kind of milestone. After a big summer gig at the Kia Forum, Bravo's Daily Dish covers her as riding a wave of momentum. The story emphasizes that Erika isn't relying strictly on her past successes, but is actively building her future. Between the spin tables of DJ Pretty Mess and the reset of her wellness focus, there's a tension and a promise. One foot firmly in the spotlight, the other turning toward what's next. All this happens in the context of deeper, more personal narratives. In the spring, she reacts to the long-standing legal saga surrounding her ex-husband, Tom Girardi, as his conviction and sentencing become public. During the reunion period for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she admits, softly heavy-toned, "I never saw this coming." Speaking of the toll each real-life beat takes when broadcast and dissected. At the same time, she's navigating cast tensions, notably with Garcelle. And in one moment on Watch What Happens Live, she lets loose. She already knew about Garcelle's exit before Andy Cohen did. That glare caught on camera isn't just reality television drama. It's a window into exactly how intense this world remains. And yet, among the flash and stir, there is the home life. A June People magazine tour invites us into her Los Angeles residence, a cinematic blend of old Hollywood and modern edge. Think Velvet Lounge, a vintage bar cart, and an outdoor DJ booth nestled in the garden. Erika says the space is what LA living is about. And she mentions shared dinners with her son Tommy Zizzo. It grounds her as more than a character on a screen. She's a mother, an architect of her own reinvention. Through reinvention, wellness, old world glam, and new world beat, Erika Jayne is living one of her boldest chapters yet. She's stepping into the DJ booth, into the calm of a rebooted life, and into the glare of cameras still watching. For fans of reality television families, this feels less like the final act and more a compelling new season. One where the central star is rewriting the script. Soft morning light filters through the Los Angeles hills as Rachel Zoe steps into a new chapter of her life. One that blends the familiar rhythm of fashion and family with unexpected pivots and fresh ambitions. In the last 12 months, Rachel transforms what was described as a very interesting holiday season into a full-throttle comeback, a new cast role, legal closure, and a rediscovery of purpose. After her public announcement last September that she and Roger Berman were ending their marital journey, Rachel ushers in this era with the dignity of a woman reclaiming her narrative. She states, "After 33 years together and 26 years married, Roger and I have come to the mutual decision to end our marriage," and underscores that the partnership in business and parenting remains intact. That message echoes through her social channels and becomes the quiet scaffold for everything that follows. By mid-2025, the legal paperwork catches up. On the 21st of July, Rachel files for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and officially requesting to revert to Rachel Zoe. At the same time, she and Roger agree on joint custody of their sons, Skylar and Caius. She no longer just choreographs runway looks. Now she orchestrates the logistics of co-parenting with grace. walking that tightrope of public persona and private heart. Then comes the announcement that catches the cameras and fans alike. Rachel joins the cast of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for season 15. It isn't simply a cameo, it's a declaration. Fashion icon meets reality star in a new landscape. She shares her motivation candidly, saying the timing feels right. That this chapter allows her to bring authenticity, warmth, and a little vulnerability into the Bravo universe. Existing cast member Kyle Richards even weighs in, positioning Rachel not just as guest, but as genuinely woven into the fabric of the show. Meanwhile, Rachel doesn't retreat from her signature business energy. In late June, she promotes a live shopping event with The Refined, inviting followers into her world of chic closets and curated elegance. With a confident voice, she says, "Don't miss this. Shop live Friday at 3 p.m. PST, inviting engagement and reminding us that she still plays by the rules of style and commerce." But perhaps the most intimate moment comes not on the runway or reality stage, but in the quiet carousel of a summer Instagram post. With pictures of her sons and a caption that speaks of escape from the chaos, Rachel gives us a window into her truth. "I needed a few days to regroup and be just mom again." The noise of cameras softens, and we see her breathing deeply, grounded in love and ritual with her boys. She is not only rebuilding, she is re-anchoring. The arc of the past year carries themes of transformation and reclamation. Rachel Zoe, long celebrated for her impeccable style, now steps into an identity that embraces vulnerability, reinvention, and legacy. The divorce is no longer simply a conclusion. It is a pivot point. Joining RHOBH is not just a career move, it is a public invitation to witness her anew. And every branded live session, every family getaway, becomes part of her story. As the camera runs and the lights brighten, we watch Rachel align her world, fashion, television, family. The tailored suits and statement necklaces remain. But now there is room for raw edges, midnight talks, breakfast pancakes with Caius, the quiet hum of a home under transformation. Reality stars come and go, but Rachel's narrative in the past 12 months feels rooted, deliberate, and ultimately human. She isn't simply seen. She's emerging. Garcelle steps into an entirely new chapter of her life, and you can almost feel the exhale behind her announcement. She has publicly confirmed her decision to leave the Housewives of Beverly Hills, not with a burst of drama, but with a quiet, deliberate choice to pivot. In a tender Instagram post shared on the 25th of March 2025, she says, "It's been a wild ride. Some amazing things have happened, and some hard things have also happened." And explains that her priority now is her twin son's senior year and supporting her daughter Jade as she builds her own path. The message resonates with a gentle determination. This isn't an exit born of bitterness, but one of intention. Since then, Garcelle has been remarkably open about what life beyond the show looks like. She shares glimpses of her new projects, of late nights and production meetings, and sunrise coffees with her kids. In one social media video, she frames the moment by saying, "This next chapter is about me showing up for my kids and myself." The tone is hopeful, tinged with relief, like the breath you take when you finally allow yourself to lean into what matters most. Yet even as she walks into that next chapter, the fuddy Rovard world continues to ripple around her. In October of 2025, during an appearance on RHOBH, What Happens Live, she offers a subtle but pointed answer about whether she might return to the show. When asked what would open the door, she simply says Erika, and smiles, son, referring to Erika Jane. It's the kind of moment that makes reality television fans lean in, boundaries set, question answered, clarity emerging from the chaos. Garcelle's relationships with her former castmates reflect that same crispness. Within weeks of announcing her departure, she clicked unfollow on several colleagues, including Sutton, sparking public commentary and signaling that some bridges are still being redrawn. Sutton responds publicly, saying she's giving Garcelle the space she needs. The moment is raw, visible, two women who once shared cameras and cocktails now navigating the quieter, serious act of defining where they stand. Behind the scenes, Garcelle is also stepping into new professional terrain. Interview after interview, she highlights a deeper shift. From reality television star to storyteller and producer, someone crafting narratives on her own terms. She reflects on what it feels like to reclaim her voice, to leave the open-ended drama behind and walk into purpose. In a conversation on Fabry the Breakfast Club in late October 2025, she speaks freely. She's working on a project called Fight Taken at a Truck Stop, a black girl missing sin, and she uses that as a launching pad to discuss legacy, representation, and where she goes from here. There's something quietly revolutionary about Garcelle's trajectory. No headline-grabbing scandal, no dramatic meltdown. Instead, the story is one of graceful exit, of saying yes to purpose, of redefining what success means. She walks into magazine spreads with confidence, appears at awards, week events with a new lightness, and posts reels of her laughing with her children. None of it forced, all of it intentional. For fans who love the glamour and the tension of Beverly Hills, Garcelle's update invites something richer. It says, yes, the camera may not be rolling the same way. The reunion tables might be far behind us, but the story continues deeper, quieter, more meaningful. And for someone who once introduced the world to twin boys and a determined daughter, the narrative now moves beyond the showroom and into the living room, into production sets, and introspective early mornings. Into a phase where legacy matters more than limelight. In short, Garcelle Beauvais isn't disappearing from your screens. She's transforming. She trades the buzzy flash of the reunion for the steady glow of craftsmanship. And through it all, she remains undeniably herself. Radiant, resilient, unapologetically ready for what comes next. Over the past year, Dorit Kemsley steps into the spotlight again, no longer just as the glamorous wife on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but as a woman rewriting her story, quietly evolving while the cameras roll. In September, she shared the first look at her memoir cover, titled Sivem Burden Den, revealing a side of herself few had glimpsed before. She calls it deeply personal, a chance to peel back the layer of designer heels and red carpet lights and invite us into the real moments behind her public life. The cover reveal interview frames this book as her exhale, a chance to let go of the curated image and embrace her truth. Just months earlier, Dorit formally files for divorce from her husband of nearly 10 years, P.K. Kemsley, citing irreconcilable differences and naming their children, Jagger and Phoenix, as central to her path forward. This legal move, detailed in April by multiple outlets, shifts the narrative. The separation they revealed months prior now becomes definitive. Dorit asks for sole physical and legal custody and spousal support, marking a mature and clear-eyed step. It's hard to imagine the weight of that moment, walking into the courthouse, signing papers that define not just the end of a chapter but the beginning of another. Throughout it all, Dorit remains in control of her voice. She appears on Bravo's official site and shows segments to clarify the separation's timeline. The decision was mutual, made months before the public announcement, and designed to protect the children while they navigate new ground. She emphasizes that while the relationship ended, the co-parenting continues. Despite the headlines and paparazzi outside Beverly Hills restaurants, at home there is rhythm and routine. In one candid convo, she says, "We're friendly," describing how the children still spend weekends with their dad. The phrase feels spare but full of meaning. In the fall, fans notice subtle shifts. Dorit shares a photo carousel titled, Lately, capturing backyard laughter, school drop rituals, and the soothing comfort of home. Her hair now darker, she appears grounded in a new era. The party dresses and flashbulbs remain, but the focus has shifted. In a Halloween week update, she debuts her black hair and poses alongside Jagger and Phoenix, quietly signaling that the family unit persists even if the structure has changed. On the sidelines of a taping, she tells reporters there is no reunion right now, with PK gently deflecting speculation and delivering clarity with elegant brevity. Amid the personal upheaval, Dorit pivots to a professional awakening. The upcoming memoir isn't just a book, it's a brand new chapter. She speaks of it as moving on, letting go and putting it all on the table. This isn't the reality star version of Dorit we've seen before. It's the woman in the quiet hours. After guests have left, when she sits on the couch and thinks about legacy, motherhood, identity. The release date is slated for April 2026. but the announcement now broadcasts loud and clear. Dorit is ready for a reinvention. For long-time viewers, this is the evolution they've waited for. The glamour remains: luxurious homes, bespoke fashion, Beverly Hills brightness. But now, there's a deeper current. Dorit navigates divorce, mothering 2 young boys, and what feels like rebirth. She still attends the events, still sparks style headlines, but there's a new filter on her image: authenticity, vulnerability, and a sincere quest for self beyond the camera's glare. In her own voice, she says she felt blindsided during a 4-hour therapy session when PK first threatened divorce. That admission doesn't weaken her, it humanizes her. It anchors her trajectory not in scandal, but in growth. There's no sensationalism here, just a woman who chooses to step forward on her own terms. Dorit's story as of 2025 isn't the ending of a chapter, but the turning of the page. Over the past year, Sutton Stracke seems to have turned a fresh page in her life, showing us a version of herself grounded in family, growth, and a vibrant forward motion. In mid-August, she posts a radiant photo captioned simply, "I love my effing life," letting the world see a smile that speaks of a woman ready to embrace new rhythm, luxury travel, quiet evenings with her boys, and the steady pulse of her evolving brand. That carefree declaration, released into the world like a breath of fresh air, arrives just as her youngest son, James, embarks on his college journey at Wofford, placing Sutton in that poignant parent chapter where graduation parties and back-to-school photos sit right alongside her own self-renewal. In September, she celebrates her birthday in South Carolina, surrounded by salt air and the occasional snap of football practice in the Citadel Stadium. Her eldest, it seems, found his own wheels spinning in a new chapter. Sutton's posts flicker with beachside dinners and coastal sunsets. Yet the energy feels more like quiet contentment than reality television drama. There's a calm underneath the chic dresses and design-forward interiors. The glam remains, but the tone is subtly softer, deeper. And then there's that signature sass we've come to expect. On May 7, she offers a heartfelt public apology to Garcelle following their rift. "I'm sorry. I just hate that this has happened," she says, naming the hurt, owning the responsibility, and signaling a hope for a long, thoughtful conversation that's private. The apology lands amid a swirl of cast tension, but it also positions Sutton as someone wanting to bridge rather than burn bridges. By late October, when Garcelle exits the show and social media fences remain quietly raised, Sutton reiterates her regret and reaffirms her intention, giving space. Yes, but with the door gently cracked open for reconciliation. On screen, Sutton doesn't shy away from the heat. Her hot mic moment during the St. Lucia yacht episode drops headlines. "I hate these effing beaches," and while the words are explosive, her stance is clear: she refuses to be put on trial at sea. When pressed by Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live, she shoots back, "This question is not for you," sparking a media moment that underscored her evolving public posture, less acquiescent, more in charge of the narrative. But birthday celebrations and sound bites aside, there's a deeper layer. In early March, Sutton opens about one of the most personal chapters of her life, her father's depression and suicide. Sharing the story on location in Augusta, Georgia, she allows the cameras to linger not just on tears but on the Georgia pines, the still house, the ghost of loss woven into a well-lit frame. It's raw and real, and it reminds fans that even in high-end gowns and high-stakes feuds, there's a human reckoning with grief and healing. At the same time, Sutton turns more fully toward business and brand. Early in the year, she reveals her ex-husband's move to London was harder than anticipated, which in her words prompted her to date my business, to anchor herself in the work, in the brand, in the self she's crafting beyond the cast and the cameras. A trip to London in July shows up in her Instagram reels, polished but purposeful boutique openings, media appearances, jet-lagged moments turned into opportunity. So here we are, nearly a year out. And Sutton Stracke isn't just content with representation on screen, she's undertaking a quietish transformation off-screen. Yes, the feuds and luxuries are still in play, but so is the life beyond the spotlight. The college drop-offs, the beach dinners, the work trips, the apology sent and the grief acknowledged. It's less about scandal and more about evolution. And for a fan watching closely, That's a shift worth watching. Bozoma St. John walks into the frame of her life this year with a kind of quiet triumph that feels deeply earned. In late August, under a canopy of roses and candlelight at Boa Steakhouse in Los Angeles, she accepts a marriage proposal designed for a fairy tale, 100 roses, a red carpet, and an 8.43-carat ring placed delicately in her hand. This is not just a yes to her fiancé Watson, it's a bold affirmation of joy after loss. Bozoma herself tells us, "I'm saying yes to life, to love, and to the miracle of second chances." Just days earlier, she posts a tender reflection on Instagram, holding hands with her daughter Lael as the quiet hush of morning light fills their home. She writes about how the days of parenting feel long, but the years slip by like water through your fingers. It's a moment of calm before the exciting pivot of new engagement and renewed purpose. Professionally, Bozoma's momentum refuses to slow down. In May, the announcement comes. She joins Jimmy Fallon on NBC's new show, On Brand, taking on a mentor and executive judge role alongside the late-night icon. She and Jimmy walk into a room full of brands, Samsung, Dunkin', Southwest, her corporate resume glowing like a beacon against the bright lights of reality television. At the Fast Company Innovation Festival in October, she stands at a podium and declares advertising is having its reality television moment, reminding us all that she belongs at the intersection of power and personality. Amid the glamour, Bozoma brings into view the scar of loss and the strength that grows from it. On Bravo's Watch What Happens Live, she reveals she discovered her Pacific Palisades home was ablaze while she was out of town. The house, she says softly, wasn't just bricks and timber, it was her living room for laughter and tears with friends and family. Losing it becomes a visceral metaphor for nothing about her life being static anymore. And when she sits down with People magazine in March, she talks candidly about her fertility journey. She says she feels apprehensive sharing it on camera because it's scary. There's a toll to visibility, she admits. And yet she knows that by speaking out, she offers a hand to others walking the same valley of hope. Her daughter Lael is 15 now, a living testament to survival, love, and continuity. In October, she shares a humorous backstage moment. Jimmy Fallon sends her 4 bowls of pepper soup in a care package with a note that simply says, "Keep it spicy." It's charming, yes, but it also signals something deeper. Bozoma has built relationships at the highest level, and she knows how to play the game of media with savvy grace and heart. And then there is the friendship with Kyle Richards, once a tight bonding thread in the Real Housewives tapestry. On the Daily Dish site, Bozoma describes that relationship now as a slow burn, admitting that seasons change people, and friendships must change too. She welcomes it as part of her evolution. So here we are, in the now, Bozoma engaged and glowing, stepping into business with creative force, still healing but still full of love, and moving into her next chapter with intention. For viewers who know her only from dramatic confessions and teary Instagram posts, the new narrative is not just survival, it's reinvention, a woman who designs, not just for brands, but for her own life. That's Bozoma St. John in this moment, a vivid story of loss, of rebirth, of boardrooms and red carpets, of late-night gigs and midnight reflections. And through it all, the narrative is clear. This is her